again, and I kept it simple this time around with some roasted red skin potatoes, some crispy oven baked chicken, and some homemade Salisbury steak. And of course, I had to come back to show y'all how I made everything. So I'm gonna start off with my vegetables first, and I am cutting up some orange bell pepper as well as some yellow bell pepper, and then I am also going to cut up some white onion. Now I'm gonna julienne some of the onion. Some of this onion is gonna be used for the homemade Salisbury steak with the mushroom and onion gravy, and then I'm also going to chop up some onion into cube, and this is gonna go inside of the oven baked crispy chicken. And of course, I have some fresh minced garlic, and this will go inside of the homemade Salisbury steak because it ain't a recipe without a garlic. And I'm also gonna have some fresh whole garlic for the oven roasted chicken. Now I got a whole chicken breast here with the bone taken out the back, and I don't know why I smacked that chicken like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and use yellow mustard as my binder. And if y'all not using yellow mustard as y'all binder when y'all frying chicken or anything of the sort, you missing out. It makes it taste so good, y'all. It makes it taste really good. So I'm gonna mustard up on both sides because I will be seasoning it. For the seasoning, I'm going to use cayenne pepper because this is meat. You want to be generous with the seasoning. I'm going to use some garlic powder, and y'all, because this is meal prep, I am not going to be giving y'all the exact measurements. You just season it how you see fit. I'm also going to be using some onion powder, a generous amount of that, and I'm going to season the chicken with some complete seasoning. Now if you can leave your chicken whole, you don't have to break its back like this, but either way, you want to make sure you get all of those crevices and be very generous with your seasoning. And I'm also going to use chicken bouillon powder on there, season it on both sides, of course, massage it, and you all can let this marinate for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, or you can just stick it in the oven just like that because you use mustard as a binder. Those white sweet onions that I cut up earlier, I'm going to go ahead and assemble those on that same sheet tray. I'm also going to put some fresh thyme in there, and then I'm also going to add some lemon wedges in there because if you baking your chicken in the oven and it's crispy, you want to make sure you got you some fresh lemon juice on there. And this is what it looks like, y'all, with all the seasoning there. I stuck this in the oven on 375 uncovered for, I think it was about I want to say an hour and a half, y'all. I actually been did this video, so I don't remember how long I put it in there, but as long as it reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees, you should be good. Now I'm going to get those red skin potatoes ready. Got those cut up. I'm gonna set them in some water. While they sit in the water, I'm gonna go ahead and make the butter sauce. And for the sauce, I am just using unsalted butter. You want to make sure you use unsalted butter because salted butter does change the flavor of it. I'm also going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice in there, and of course, got to have the garlic, but I'm gonna use garlic paste this time. I'm gonna heat that up until it's melted. It doesn't have to come to a boil, you just want to melt it. Put those potatoes on a sheet tray, and for the seasoning, I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm just going to use some black pepper, some kosher salt, and I'm also going to put that butter, that one warm butter solution that I had on the stove. I'm gonna drizzle it on there, and I'm going to use some dried parsley. You can use fresh parsley or dried parsley, it doesn't matter. I didn't have fresh parsley, so I used dry, and then I'm gonna mix that up until everything is nice and coated. And this is what it's looking like. Y'all know these gonna be good because look at how that seasoning look on there with that garlic paste. Oh my god. So I'm gonna stick those in the oven along with the chicken. And now while that's cooking, I'm going to prepare the homemade Salisbury steak. I got my ground chuck. I'm going to add 2 eggs in there as a binder, some Worcestershire sauce, some garlic powder, of course, because it ain't a recipe if it ain't got garlic in it. I'm also going to use some onion powder as well as some coarse black pepper. And I'm going to use some complete seasoning, and I'm going to mix that up until everything is nice and married. I got gloves this time, y'all. Last time I made it, I ain't had no gloves and all that stuff got under my fingertips. Now I'm going to form the patties with these. Now I just use my hand to form the patties. My hands are actually kind of small. But when I made these before, the cup size I used, I think it was I want to say it was 2/3 of a cup size I used, and then I just rolled it up and patted it down. Once I got all those patties formed, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in a pan on medium high heat, 4 at a time. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. And I'm just gonna brown them on both sides. This is going to finish cooking inside of the gravy, y'all, so you really just putting them in the pan just to make them look pretty, give them a nice sear, because they don't have to be cooked all the way, just maybe about 2 minutes on, maybe no more than 2 minutes on each side until it get a nice dark brown crust like this. And then once that's done, we are going to go ahead and remove it from the pan. And in that same pan, you want to add your a little bit of unsalted butter and go ahead and add those mushrooms in there, those onions, and of course the fresh minced garlic. For the seasoning, I'm going to use black pepper, some red pepper flakes for a little spice, and some kosher salt. Go ahead and mix that up. Let that cook for about 2 minutes. Let it saute and let the veggies wilt a little bit. Once they're wilted, we're gonna go ahead and add our broth in there. You can use beef broth or chicken broth, it does not matter. I recommend using beef because you are cooking beef. I did not have beef, so I just used chicken broth, and it still came out just as good, y'all. It doesn't make that big of a difference. And once that comes to a boil, I'm gonna go ahead and add those pre-cooked patties in there, and of course you want to add that excess juice. Don't leave none of that juice behind. And of course I'm also going to put some fresh thyme in there. I'm gonna cover that and I'm gonna let that cook for about 10 to 20 minutes, y'all, because again it was already pre-cooked, so it doesn't have to cook really long. We just getting it to cook in the middle and then letting the gravy thick up a little bit. Okay, and that's what it's looking like. And I got to show y'all what that oven baked chicken came out looking like. Now y'all see, this is why I leave the chicken uncovered. This is what makes it crispy when you leave it uncovered. So now that all of that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and assemble everything. The potatoes came out perfect. I went ahead and put them in there. I got my homemade Salisbury steak. Of course you want to add the gravy on there, and the chicken, I'm gonna put it on there with some of those onions and garlic, and of course the lemon. Now again, I am just someone that like vegetables. When you do your chicken, you do not have to put the onions and lemon on there, y'all, and that's what it's looking like. That empty slot, I kept it simple and I put some salad in there, but I didn't want to put it all in there at the same time because as you can see, all of my food is hot, so I didn't want to put cold salad in there and then cover it and then the salad wilts and then it's no good. But that's it, y'all. Again, I did not drop the exact measurements because it's meal prep. You can season it how you see fit, but I do got the seasonings, y'all. Y'all gotta try this. Tell me what y'all think.